Hey guys, and welcome to the next episode of Teen Questions. A few things to talk about is a big response to my last one. You know, I got tons of awesome questions that were just too long to pick. For those people, if you've asked a question that you thought was interesting, but you might not have thought about how long it might take to answer that question, I'd like to ask if you could maybe compress those questions so that they're easier to talk about in 5 minutes or something. For example, I had a lot of questions about Ferguson and things to do with that. Wow, yeah, there is a lot to talk about that, and I am just one person who hasn't seen it in person, barely knows anything, only seen some stuff online and is disgusted by some of the things that I've heard. I don't have any first-hand experience with that kind of stuff, so I'm afraid to talk about a topic like that when I'm not fully educated on it and I don't know all the facts, for example. So if you can try and compress those big, interesting questions into something that maybe it's a bit easier to talk about, I would really appreciate that. But I want to say thank you for all the amazing questions. And as always, the people in the comments responding to other people, helping solve issues, the dialogue between people that I'm seeing, and trying to keep arguments to a minimum. I did see some last time, and it's a shame that I saw that, massive angry argument comment chains. But, you know, like I said, I'm just one person. I'm only 21 years old. I don't know by far everything, and I never will. I'm always going to be ignorant to a lot of things in life. That's just being a human. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for all the amazing response to the last time, and thanks for trying to keep the arguments to a minimum. All right, let's begin. I'm just gonna take a sip of this tea. First question comes from Acid. This person I've sort of become like a casual friend with, who originally was a viewer and played Dota with, plays CS with. So hey dude, nice to have a nice interaction with you again. Thanks for the question. It was actually really good. He asks, how can I stop being afraid of change or changes in general? This is a big topic, and I'm gonna try not to waffle on for 10 minutes about it. I can see myself doing it very easily. So I'm gonna try and bullet point it, right? So change is something that's going to happen in your life no matter what you do, where you are in your life, how long you've been living, I guess, or wherever you live or anything. Every single person in their life is going to experience change. That's full stop. And it's going to happen many times during that person's life. Every single person, many times, you know? That is something that is just a cold, stone hard fact that you just have to accept. And I'm sure you understand already. So, change. It's not that scary, you know? A lot of people seem to think that it's just a horrifying thing. Some changes are good, some changes are bad. But the fact is, things do not remain the same, for lack of a better word than change, that I keep saying. You know, you just got to accept that it's going to happen. Now, whether it's a bad or good change, you just have to take it on the head. When it's a good change, react however you want, you know? When it's a good change, react however you want. But when it's a bad change, here's what I like to do. I take my time acknowledging it, you know? I look at it from every side I can, you know? I go from my perspective, anyone else involved's perspective, and I sleep on it, and I think about it again, and I wait a week to properly react to the thing that's happened, you know? So I'm not saying you know, ignore it or procrastinate or something. I'm just saying don't panic, you know? Take your time digesting the change or the information that's caused the change, and try to understand every sort of aspect of it. In that initial moment when change happens, and I'm going to give an example now from my life, is when I was 18, I found out that university might not be the best option for me. My entire life, I had just decided or thought that I was going to go to university at the age of 18 and do some sort of course and learn something and then do something, you know? I really had no idea what I was going to do or what this course might be or anything, really. I just decided that I was going to go to university when I was 18, and I didn't. I remember I didn't really know what the course I wanted to do was. I would go into massive debt by going to university because it costs a lot of money in England. Less than America, but, you know, some places it doesn't even cost anything, which is crazy to me. Yeah, it would have been massive debt, basically, and I had to make the right choice. Otherwise, I'd fuck my life up for a very long time if I chose something I wasn't interested in or something along that lines, right? And I remember talking to my dad, and he was like, if you don't know what you want to do, wait. And that's exactly what I did, you know? I waited, and I thought about it, and I ended up realizing if I'm going to go into massive debt for something, it needs to be the right thing. And if I don't know what the right thing is, then I wait until I do, you know, and I experience life until it clicks and I go, that's it, you know? I don't have that yet, so I'm going to wait. And I ended up getting a job and working for about a year and a half until I was like, I think I know what I want to do. And then I did it, right? That's it. That's the reaction. Instead of just being like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. It's over, my life's over, everything's changing. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. A week of no sleep and stress, and then I just don't know what to do, and then I jump on a course that I hate, and then a year later I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this course, I hate it, and I'm failing, I drop out, I'm now in debt, and I don't know what I want to do, and I've got, you know, a year has passed, I don't know what I want to do, I'm super stressed, I'm in debt, you know, imagine if I'd done that. Imagine if I'd done that. I wouldn't be doing YouTube, that's for sure. Like, that would have been terrible. That would have been terrible. And I'm very happy that I took a step away from the situation and looked at it from as many sides as I could until I realized, okay, this is what I should do. If something happens in your life that's scary, that's bad, then you just need to take a step away and go, how do I react to this? What's the best way forward from here? Push back. No, well, don't push back the panic. Don't push back the panic. You know, accept that there's going to be a bit of panic. It's going to happen, but try to realize that no matter what happens in your life, there's always one door closing and one door opening every time something changes. So you just got to look at the door that's opened and not focus on the closed door. I know that's a bit of a metaphor, but I hope that helps. I'm going to try and leave it at that, and I do hope that helped you, Acid. But that's how I like to look at change and bad things that happen and how to react to them. Change isn't a really good or bad thing. You know, it could be good, it could be bad. But I think how you should react to it is the main thing, and being able to keep a cool and calm head in reaction to it. Next up, we have a question from Warded Ragegun, interesting name. They ask what my opinion on internet friends is. I'll try and keep it simple as well, but, you know, that was like 7 minutes, so I'll try and keep it super simple. All right, internet friends. The internet is a place where you can interact with a lot of people, like a lot more people than you could in real life, easier, right? So because of that, you're more likely to interact and collide, your lives collide. So cool metaphors. Your lives collide with other people who suit you better. You know, it's more, you go through an interaction with more people a lot faster, right? So you're bound to find friends who suit you and you get along with really well faster on the internet, right? The problem with this is oftentimes they live very far away, and it sucks because you've made this awesome friend and you want to hang out with them in person, but you can't. So there's two sides to it, really, you know, the fact that you get to make these amazing friends and the fact that it's really hard to meet them. And having met like internet friends and people in general that I've met online and experienced that person in real life, I've had some mixed things, you know. I've had like a really good friend that turned out to be kind of a different person in real life, and on the other scale, on the majority scale, in fact, I've met a lot of internet friends who have been awesome, and I've loved it, and I've been like, I'm so happy I'm friends with this person. Even though I don't get to see them often, it's awesome when I can, and I'm happy to interact with them when I can't, you know? This is my friend, and I take it as it comes, right? That's how I feel about internet friends. It's not like a bad thing. It doesn't mean they're not like a real friend or something, or any bullshit like that. It's just, this is someone who you really get on with, and when you can, sometimes it takes years, you see them in person, and it's awesome. That's as far as this train goes, I guess. Brian Wisman asks, "Hello, how do you deal with annoying co-workers?" I have a few, and I'd like to hear what you have to say. You know, when I was working this job for a year and a half, I did actually meet a lot of people that I did not get along with, and I had to interact with every day. Mostly it becomes like high school drama. It's hilarious in jobs how like sometimes it feels like I'm in high school right now, you know, like all the drama and stupid shit that happens, and, you know, like cliques and stuff at work. It's so stupid. I guess we never really get out of high school in some ways. How like people interact with each other in groups and herds and such. I don't know. It's crazy. Even in work. I don't know. Personally, I just try to remain neutral. You know, when someone annoys me, I don't like try to make an issue out of it. I'm there to work. I'm there to earn money ultimately. So I'm not trying to cause like issues. If someone has an opinion that's super wrong and like, you know, that's like really negative, like a racist opinion, then maybe I'll voice my opinion right there and then, obviously. But I'm talking like someone's whining about something that someone may or may not have done, or, oh no, someone's dating someone else, let's talk about that. What horror, you know? Some stupid shit like that. I just keep my head out of it, you know? I focus on my job, I focus on the people who I enjoy being around when I'm working, and the people that I don't, I just treat in a neutral way. I never try to cause some sort of drama, and I just got on with my job, you know? And that's my advice to you, you know? People are annoying, and you're going to have to deal with that in life. So just try to keep a level head and see the positives of that person and ignore the negatives, and try to see things from their viewpoint, I guess. But mostly I just try to avoid people that I don't clash well with, and, you know, keep conversation and whatnot with them to a minimum and avoid interaction, I guess. Because, you know, if someone really annoys you, oftentimes there's no way around that. And so you just try to not talk to them so that you don't get annoyed and they don't get annoyed. It's easy, you know, you don't collide, you just go around, right? Next up we have Taylor Bosworth asking, hey Aaron, I was wondering if you might bring back Storytime with Hollow anytime soon. And he goes on with this question, but not really relevant because I'm going to stop you there, sadly. Yeah, basically no. I did enjoy doing it. It took a lot of work to do those, you know, doing the voice recordings and reading it. It actually took a lot of like takes and doing the voices and trying to be interesting, you know. I don't know how good I was at it, but the point was, you know, it took a lot of effort to put those videos out there, and really no one was interested in them. Like I'd be getting like, for example, just as an example, I would get 10,000 views on a video on average, right? Just as an example. And then the story times would be like 500 views to 1,000, and they take a lot of work. So logically for me, it was just like, I like to do this and everything, but it's causing too much stress, and it's not worth the stress. So I just have to stop it. You know, sometimes in life, sometimes you just have to go, okay, I gotta stop, you know. I can't do this anymore, whether I want to or not. I just can't, I gotta stop it, because it wasn't worth the time, sadly, in any form, you know. There was only a few people watching it, basically, compared to my normal stuff, which was just a real shame, and I'm glad that I gave it a shot, and I'm glad that the few people who did watch it may have enjoyed it, but it just wasn't working out, and I had to stop it, and it really sucks to think about, but yeah, it didn't work. And the final question comes from Project Milzock even. I know you like DC, Hollow, but do you like Marvel? Yeah, I don't know why people like think this. I actually prefer DC, you know, DC Comics, because I like the characters more and the stories inside of it. Maybe not the films or the TV shows, you know, those are fucking awful. You know, maybe they've had some good ones, but you know how I feel about the Batman films. It's like, those were good films, but that's not Batman, you know? Like that's like you've changed the character fundamentally. In fact, you've changed most of the characters, if not all of them, fundamentally. Some of them, you did a cool job. That's cool. That Bane's pretty cool. Still not Bane, though. This Batman's pretty cool. Real Batman's actually cooler, I think. You know, that's how I feel about those films. But the DC universe itself, I just really like the seriousness and the characters and whatnot. Whereas you got the Marvel side of things where they're a bit more comical and less serious and stuff. And that's fine, you know? I really like Marvel. I love the Marvel films. They've done an amazing job with all that. The Avengers and all of the people in Avengers, for example. Great job. Dude, Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing. And that whole world I didn't even know about until the film came out. And it was awesome, you know? They do a great job, and I love Marvel in general. There's room for both, is what I'm trying to say, and I like the serious side of DC, and I like the different side of Marvel. Marvel can be serious, and DC can be silly, but I just prefer DC, the stories inside of it. I guess I just enjoy them more, but Marvel I still love. And I don't know why that's such like a confusing thing, or people just assume that I hate like Marvel because I like DC and Batman and stuff. But yeah, I like both, but I just like slightly prefer DC. But sometimes I'm like, will someone portray the characters correctly? Like, I won't spoil the end of the Superman film, the most recent one for you, but it's like, Superman would never do that. That goes against everything that is Superman. For God's sake, you know? So that's how I feel about, like, films and stuff. But the DC universe, the Marvel universe themselves are awesome. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed. If you've got a question, please leave it as a comment on this video. That Thanks for all your questions and everything. Those were just my opinions, guys. Bear in mind they're not fact. And that's about it, guys. So, I've been Hollow, you've been you, and I'll see you next time.